Okay, so I wanted to do another video. I've recorded a bunch of videos. I think I said this in the last video that I just recorded on relationships. And I was looking at this YouTube video on this girl talking about relationships, and she was being interviewed as well. And she was talking about how she doesn't know if she's a lesbian or if she's straight. And so she's exploring that aspect of her life. And so she was sharing this, and this reminded me of me, how she, she's doing all this inner work on herself, and she's like, I'm doing all these great things, God, and she says she wakes up every day, and she's like, God, is my soulmate here yet? Like, I'm doing all this inner work, like, okay, so when is it going to be my turn? Like, all these things are happening all around me, but when is it going to be my turn? And she said, I put so much energy on finding the one, wanting the one to be right there, right now in this moment. She said, that is so, it just takes so much energy. She's like, for the first time in my life, I'm not going to worry about how it comes. I'm not going to worry about the details of how it comes. I'm just going to enjoy life. And then when it's time for it to come, it'll happen. And I truly believe that when you're busy in your life and you're focused on what you're doing and going to work and being in the moments with family and friends and just being in the moment in life, that's when life happens. And I've seen it. It's happened to me. But the challenge is to stop talking about the past, because the past has already happened, it's gone, and to not think about the future because the future hasn't happened yet. So the challenging part is to be right here in the moment and just allow the moments to be what they are. And I know for me that's really challenging because I want to think about future shit. Like, I want to go back and reminisce about past shit that was whether it was good or positive. Whether it was positive or negative. And when you do that, anxiety, depression, and all these types of feelings come up. And it's like, I used to say when people ask me like, okay, so Coach G, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't even answer that question anymore because I don't know. Like, I know what I want to happen, but at the end of the day, like, God, the universe, is going to bring to me what it is that I need in that moment. And so when I'm asked that question now, it's like, and I haven't been asked that question in a while, but if I were to be asked that question like later on today or tomorrow, I would be like, I don't know where I see myself in 5 years because I know what I want to happen, but at the end of the day, like, I'm going to be exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I just want to be right here, right now in this moment. And however that moment looks at any given moment, I want to be in that moment. And so I remember being in high school and knowing that I was supposed to be in Atlanta. And I remember I had friends in my life tell me, oh, you should go, you need to stay in Maryland. But there was nothing in Maryland for me. I had outgrown Maryland. And I had this idea that I was supposed to come to Atlanta I was with my job for 10 years and I had quit my job and I wanted to pursue music. And I remember I was in a relationship at the time, and my girlfriend at the time drove 10 hours down from Atlanta, helped me move to Atlanta. And then we ended up breaking up, but I knew that she was the vessel that God used to get me here. But when I got here, I was like in a shock. It was like, okay, I said I was going to pursue music. I'm going to do that. Like, where do I start? Like, where do I go to open mics and stuff? But I ended up coming to Atlanta and beginning my healing and finding myself. And then I realized that, I didn't know anything about energy work until I came to Atlanta. I got into that, and I got into life coaching, and personal training and yoga is something very huge for me that I definitely want to explore more and to get my certs in. But it was like a moment of, I had this idea that I was supposed to come to Atlanta for one thing, but I ended up coming to Atlanta for another reason. And I say that to say, sometimes in our minds we have this idea that things are supposed to be one way and we're supposed to be doing this one job, but we end up doing something else that we would have never saw ourselves doing. And that's what happened to me. And I'm grateful for it because I know that I'm probably more stronger in myself, and I know I'm stronger in myself, but I know that a lot of people that I was, back home could literally pack up their shit and move. And I've had a few people say when I first moved here, I could have never done what you did. And it was scary, but I know that I needed to do that for myself in order to get my shit together. Has it been easy living here? No. Has it been scary and lonely at times? Yes, because all my family's back home in Maryland, but it's been the most eye-opening and the most amazing experience, both the ups and downs, because I'm more comfortable in my skin than I've ever been. I speak my truth. I don't allow people to talk to me crazy. And I'm me, and there's only one me, and there's nobody else like me. And so I'm getting to a place in my life where I don't compare anybody else to my journey. You know, their journey is their journey, and my journey is my journey. And that's what it is. And so it's been, and this video is so crazy because I wasn't going to go in this direction with this video, but I'm just going with it. Being in Atlanta has taught me a lot about myself. It's taught me a lot of discernment. It's taught me how important it is to be transparent. It's taught me to, I remember I had this conversation with this doctor once, and she said to me, this new job that you're going to, she said, if you don't see your coworkers doing what you're doing, don't do it. She's just like, if it ever makes you feel uncomfortable, uneasy, or it makes you question when you're put in a situation to do something, don't do it. And I always remembered that, and I never forgot that, and that always stuck with me. So I think it's knowing what to do in moments and to not resist and to allow yourself to be open to whatever comes next. And I'm gonna be honest, I had a conversation with a client yesterday, and she was talking about what was going on in her life. And I'm scared to death of success. I'm scared to death of failing. I'm scared to death of not being where I'm supposed to be. I'm scared of not ever being able to be a mother or being married, all those things. But my fear of not having that is so much, let me get this right. Make sure I'm saying this right. My drive to be successful is so much stronger than failing. And I'm being guided every step of the way, and I'm always seeing signs and synchronicities along the way and having conversations, so I know I'm on my path. But I'm gonna do this shit even if I'm scared, even if I'm terrified. I'm gonna do this shit, because at the end of the day, everything that I'm doing is leading me somewhere, and I'd rather be moving than be stagnant. So I'm gonna leave this video here for now. Honesty Moments with Coach D. Just being open, transparent, not knowing where I'm going, but just staying the course, and just allowing. So I hope everyone has a great day on this Friday. Peace, love, and much light.